did my research on the Inglewood crime rate, but am I afraid? No. Why? Because growing up in Inglewood, I learned how not to be afraid, but to be aware of my surroundings. I'm born and raised on the south side of Chicago. I am only 17 years old, and I have experienced more violence than you can ever imagine. Just because I'm isn't afraid doesn't mean other teens growing up in Inglewood isn't. Inglewood is the border by 55th Street to North 75th Street, South Racine to State Street, located on the southwest of Chicago. Welcome to Chirac, Illinois. Chirac is a nickname for Chicago, where they commanded Chi-Town and Iraq. Why? Because Chicago murder rates was as equally as high as Iraq in 2003. Illinois. Illinois came from a Chicago rapper, King Louis, or as we know, the word drill. Drill means to like shoot or fight, you know. So, yeah. 2 people killed and 5 injured at Church's Chicken on the south side of Chicago. December 28, 2011, I received phone calls and panic asking me, have I talked to Pee Wee and Mac because they was just shooting and I think one of them got shot. I responded, no. Less than 5 minutes later, I received another phone call telling me, Vicky, call out Mama and our grandma. They was just shooting. Mac is dead and Pee Wee just got shot. I'm on my way to the ambulance with Pee Wee now. Come get me. As I said before, I became numb to violence, and violence really didn't like impact me, but this did. Why? Because it involved 2 people that I was close to. I live in Chicago where people are getting shot at their own front porches. Every block there's a new gang. Where mothers have to bury their child is normal, and where the good die young. This leaves me with the question, why does Inglewood make up half of the Chicago's crime rate? I interviewed 2 people, and both of the people were from Inglewood. One of the persons was his man named Jim. He was a former Inglewood resident. Jim gave me his age. Jim is about 69 now. And I interviewed another person, a teen around our age. I asked them 2 questions. One of the questions was, growing up in Inglewood, have you ever feared for your life? Jim responded, around the time that I was growing up in Inglewood, I never feared for my life. However, I did fear for my safety. I asked him, why is that? He responded, because during that time, Inglewood wasn't as bad as it is today. You have to worry about getting jumped on, walking home, or getting a knife, like somebody pulling out a knife on you, or little things like that. But not really, getting shot. And I asked the same question to the teen around my age, and he responded, no, I don't fear for my life growing up in Inglewood. I asked him, why is that? He said, because this is Inglewood. You should expect that. He uses the frame, this is Inglewood, as it is supposed to, explains the violence happening in the community. I asked him another question. How do we stop the violence in Inglewood? Jim responded, you can stop the violence by, starting, a peace march, or, getting more kids involved, or getting them out the streets, building more youth programs in the empty lots in Chicago and Inglewood. I asked the same question to the team. He responded, there is no solution. I believe the black-on-black crime will never stop. Yeah. Crime, I did some statistics, and I found this. From April 2nd through May 2nd, 2014 alone, only in Inglewood, the violent crime, it reported 67 violent crimes. And that includes things as robberies, batteries, assaults, homicides, and sexual assaults. Then property crime, that it was reported 137. Quality of lifetime crime reported 124. I personally know this boy. He got shot on 61st and Cottage Grove, not too far from where I live at. He got shot, and the closest hospital around is the University of Chicago. He got shot, they sent him to the University of Chicago. They couldn't treat him because there wasn't no trauma center. There are 30 hospitals on the south side of Chicago, and 0 had trauma centers. I looked up some statistics and it said it's approximately 45 minutes to, Inglewood is where the most shootings is at, and it takes approximately 45 minutes to get a kid to the nearest hospital where the trauma center is at, and ambulance. So, and you wonder, like, why are all these kids dying? Okay, yes, because they are shooting and, like, things of that nature. But do you ever think that, because there's no trauma centers, if there was a trauma center at the University of Chicago, the boy probably would have never died. These are pictures of, well, most of all these people are people who live like on the south side of Chicago. Well, all these people are people who live on the south side of Chicago. I personally know this boy right here. He go by the name of Fathead. Fathead grew up on 51st and College Grove. Fathead got shot on a bus stop. And everybody like Fathead was like, he was with this gang called YM, or as people know, Young Money. And now, like, other gangs, like, that are in tour with the gang called Young Money are disrespecting him, saying, like, please don't get Fathead, or, like just saying, like, disrespectful stuff. And, like, that's how, like, the violence continue. So, yeah. Next. Preventing gun and youth violence. How do we stop it? I said, how could the Chicago Police Department better their community policing? I believe that if more Chicago police departments get out on the streets and build relationships with youth in the communities, that the violence wouldn't be as high as it is today. I feel like that the police just need to, like, get out in the communities and, like, interact with the kids instead of, like, just locking them up, because now we see police as a target. If we see one, we might just shoot back. So I feel like if they interact with people, it would be like less shooting, and like less police will be like the target. How can the government enforce more gun safety laws? I feel like the law that we can carry like a concealed weapon and stuff, I feel like that shouldn't be a law. Why? Because I personally know people who have committed a murder who is out on the streets today. Do I feel like that's right? No. But because the person was like scared to come to court and testify, they dropped their case and now they out on the streets. So I feel like they should enforce the laws and like make them more strict. How can we build more youth programs for teens in the summertime? I feel like that if there are a lot of empty lots in Inglewood. So with them empty lots, I feel like we should build like more Boys and Girls Clubs and more YMCAs like on the corners, and how the youth work in the little programs, like, and also give them a job and keep them off the streets. The last, how can we protest daily to raise awareness and stop the violence? I feel like protesting, like now, they protest like every blue moon or like when they want to protest. So I feel like if we protest more and like to get people aware, like, you killing my brother, you killing my cousin, then it will stop the violence.